Hey everybody, and welcome back to the SuperBro Movie Show. I'm your host for this week, Jackson Hayes. You can find me on Twitter at JacksonHayes67. I am the editor of SuperBroMovies.com, and I am joined today by my esteemed panel. Marcos, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hey, what's up? This is Marcos. I have nothing funny to say this time. I'm going to plug my Twitter handle, at BizGamer9. Follow me. I'm the head writer of SuperBro Movies. There's definitely none other head writer, so it's just me. And next, Jacob.
Thanks for introducing me, Marcos. I wasn't sure if you were going to stop rambling. I'm Jacob. You can find me on Twitter at JacobCamp13. And before we started recording today, I got bullied for my microphone. Coming up next, we've got Caleb. Introduce yourself.
Hey, my name is Caleb Sod. I probably have one of the best microphones along with Jackson, so you'll be able to hear my voice in all of its illustrious clarity. You can find me on Twitter at CalebSod20, and I think we have a great show for you this week. Jackson, why don't you get it started?
All right, let's get this extremely mediocre show on the road.
Hey. Our two
whoa.
listeners love our podcast, so don't even try it, Jackson.
My mom and my dad think it's awesome.
Exactly.
Well, my parents don't even
My
listen,
grandma
so-
said it was great, and then I realized she wasn't even listening to the right podcast. So there.
It was probably great.
All right, this isn't the Weekly Planet, okay? This is legitimate. All right, let's get into the news. Our first topic today will be the Star Wars Episode 9 cast was released, and the biggest notes from that are the fact that Mark Hamill will be returning as Luke Skywalker, Billy D. Williams is making an appearance as Lando Calrissian, and the fact that Carrie Fisher will return using unused footage from Episode 7, all that courtesy of StarWars.com. So, Caleb, let's start with you. What are your takeaways?
Most of this was expected. A lot of it had been rumored for a long time. We all knew Mark Hamill was going to come back as a Force Ghost. There's no way they would just end his story right there. But the biggest surprise is that they're confirming that Carrie Fisher is coming back using the unused footage from Force Awakens. I'm really curious to see what they're going to do with that and how much of a part she'll have in the movie. I mean, Star Wars literally brought a person back from the dead using CGI. They said they're not going to use CGI, but I have full faith in them that they can, make do with what they have. So I'm really excited to see what they pull off. What do you guys think, Jacob?
I'm really excited for it, and I agree with you. I have full confidence in the Star Wars team and using the Carrie Fisher footage. The way technology is today, they can do anything at all with this stuff. They've made Robert Downey Jr. look young, Michael Douglas look young. They recreated young Carrie Fisher for Rogue One in that one scene. So I'm confident that the footage is going to look great. I'm really excited to see Billy D. Williams back. He's the last of the original cast that we haven't seen yet with the new character. So I'm interested to see how he interacts with them. Marcos, what do you think about it?
You know what? I'm fully confident that J.J. Abrams and then, the rest of the team are taking good care of it, because for a while they've been, taking the time after Colin Trevorrow left. And, they had to rewrite it, especially after Carrie Fisher's passing. And I think they're going to do a really good job. Them using already filmed footage of her from all the way back in Force Awakens, I think that's going to be a good choice. Whether or not they're going to end it off just like that, or they're going to add something with VFX or something like that, I don't know. But, I think it's a good choice. And then, Lando Calrissian finally coming back. We just saw him in Solo this year. Not the greatest movie. It was fine. Donald Glover was great as Lando. But it's going to be cool, really cool, to see the OG back. Other than that, we have some new cast members. Like, we have Kerry Russell, which I don't know who she's playing, but I think it's going to be a great choice, a great addition.
I'm with all you here. I'm really excited to see Mark Hamill back as a Force Ghost. I mean, as amazing as his end was in The Last Jedi, it didn't feel like complete, especially with the little nod he gave to Kylo, telling him, he's see him around, basically leaving the door open for the fact that he would return in Episode 9. The Carrie Fisher footage, I'm sure, will be handled with grace and all the integrity in the world. I don't think it'll be long. I think it'll be a way to, usher her into the movie respectfully and give us the goodbye that we all wanted that we weren't really able to get in Episode 8. Lando being back is awesome. Unclear what his role will be, but we'll, Billy D's Billy D, and everyone's excited to see Lando back. Any other thoughts, guys?
All right, yeah, so with Mark, you were talking about Mark Hamill being back and how his conclusion wasn't really final in The Last Jedi, and how he said he would see Kylo Ren around. I kind of just want to see him messing with Kylo Ren, as he's sitting on his throne, and he's just making fun of him from behind the scenes, and then maybe he's helping Rey, but it's I would like to see a little bit of fun play with that character, but that's probably not the route they're going to take. So yeah, Jacob, what were you saying?
Yeah, I was kind of along what you were going with. I'm really excited to see how they bring Mark Hamill into it. With Skywalker, with Star Wars, no one's ever really gone since we have Force Ghosts. Same with Obi-Wan. He's dead, but he was still there for Luke when he was young. And I feel like it's going to be the same. I feel like I like the commute to take you around with. I think that'd be really cool to see. But I feel like it's going to be him still training Rey to become a full Jedi, but also trying to sway Kylo away from the dark side still. I know he's pretty much unable to be a good guy at this point, but I feel like he's still going to try. He just, every time we give him a chance to go to the light side, he just kind of messes it up. But I feel like that's going to be the focus of this movie. And also, I'm really excited that him and Leia are back, since this is the end of the Skywalker saga. I want to see how they come full circle for this. Marcus, do you have any last minute things you want to say?
Not really, other than, I think Mark Allen returning, he's probably a Force Ghost. I think he's probably going to have a more supporting role than he probably did before J.J. Abrams came on. But, yeah, I'm just excited for that. We'll see what happens. Because really, after Last Jedi, you don't know where it's going to go. I mean, you have an idea, but it could really go anywhere. So that's exciting, just like that.
Yeah, I'm gonna jump off what you said, Caleb. That something that really interested me is the fact that what if Luke, personifies himself to Kylo instead of Rey? We've never seen something like that. We've never seen a dark side user interact with a Force ghost. Maybe in the EU, but it's always been, Obi-Wan going to Luke, or Yoda going to Luke, but someone going to a bad guy, trying to persuade them is something we haven't seen at all on the movies. Would be a really interesting way to go with it. We can move into the next topic. Let's stay on the Disney train. We're going to go straight into James Gunn news for the week. It's continued to be a hot topic and definitely didn't die down this week. This week, the cast of the Guardians released a joint statement. I'm going to read part of the statement right now. This is from Dave Bautista's Twitter page. It's an open letter from the cast of the Guardians of the Galaxy to our fans and friends. We fully support James Gunn. We were all shocked by his abrupt firing last week and have intentionally waited these 10 days to respond in order to think, pray, listen, and discuss. In that time, we've been encouraged by the outpouring of support from fans and members of the media who wish to see James reinstated as director of Volume 3, as well as discouraged by those who were so easily duped into believing many of the outlandish conspiracy theories surrounding him. So, if you don't know the situation by now, go read up on it. We're not going to go too in-depth into what happened, but we're going to talk about, what we think about the Guardian statement here. So, Marcos, why don't you jump off?
This is very interesting. I think, just after everything happened, he was fired from by Disney. I was thinking, there is a possibility of the cast going out and supporting him, but there wasn't really much after the next couple days afterwards. But now with this full support from the cast, I think there's definitely something going on in Marvel. It probably more than just the cast want him back, and I doubt this is over. This probably was a Disney decision, beyond Marvel's hand, and I think we'll see something soon. Whether than that he comes back or Marvel at least puts out a statement, we'll see. But I think there's definitely something's gonna happen because of the cast being so strong about it. Jacob, what do you think?
I really like the fact that they all came out together and supported James Gunn. In a way, James Gunn, his Guardians, it really threw a lot of them into stardom. Like, they all had their things before Guardians, but this is what really made them leading men and women in Hollywood, especially for Chris Pratt, Dave Bautista, Karen Gillan. This really showed that they can handle it on their own in these movies. So the fact that they all showed their support, that they appreciate what he's done for them, and that they understand that they were terrible jokes, but he's changed in a way, and he's redeemed himself essentially. And I really hope that it does end up that something comes from this letter of them supporting him, and that it's not just brushed under the rug in the end. Caleb, do you have any opinions on it?
Yeah, so you guys have all basically said what we've all been thinking. We talked to death about this last week, so I guess I'll just piggyback off of this into the latest news to come out of this, which is a report from Variety saying that there's been a growing feeling that Gunn will be reinstated. Obviously, Marvel wasn't the one to make this decision. It wasn't Kevin Feige. It was the higher-ups at Disney. Bob Iger was the one that fired James Gunn. And with the production of Volume 3 supposed to happen soon, we would have expected more more of a statement from Disney by now about who they would be looking to replace him. But since there hasn't been that, there's these growing feelings, and inside sources have told Variety that they're most likely looking to reinstate James Gunn. So none of this is concrete. This isn't 100% fact, so it should be taken with some grains of salt. But, this is definitely good news for the people like us that think James Gunn deserves a second chance. What do you think about that, Jackson?
Oh yeah, I agree. I agree with everything that's been said. Really, the most interesting part to me is, we're in sort of unprecedented territories here. We're in a cast of an entire movie come out in support of someone who's been fired. I mean, this case in particular hasn't happened specifically before, but we've had directors fired constantly in the last few years, and you haven't seen this kind of outcry of support. And the names on this list, Bradley Cooper or Vin Diesel, who don't exactly interact with the cast as much because they do the voiceover work, but it's honestly incredible. And I'm hoping that report from Variety comes to be true. I hope Disney can come to their senses and realize that most people wouldn't have been as upset about this situation as they made it out to be, or they were trying to cover themselves. So hopefully, as we move forward in the next few days, we'll learn at least something. At least maybe they met with James, or they're planning to meet with James. So yeah, I mean, not much else to say. Hopefully, we're moving towards a positive situation. Anything else?
You know what? I think that's about it.
I think we covered about it.
I think whether or not you agree with what's been done, I think you can notice that the cast obviously care for him and they want him back. So that probably should say something in terms of his his character, rather than that he should come back. So I guess we can just leave it at that.
All right, well let's keep the train moving, and we're going to go into some DC news from this week. I know Jacob has a very interesting take on this piece of news. So if you've ever gone on the popular social media app Vero, which you probably haven't heard of, Zack Snyder, director of things such as Batman v Superman, Man of Steel, Watchmen, he's a fan of that app. I know he might be an investor or something. He uses it frequently. Someone had posted an image from Suicide Squad that had been released this week that was cut from the movie, where Batman was interacting with Harley Quinn and had mentioned that the Joker had taken something from him, obviously referencing the Robin murder, which was something that Snyder teased in Batman v Superman. And so someone mentioned him in a comment, and then he revealed the fact that his dead Robin was in fact Dick Grayson and was not Jason Todd, as many people suspected. That got a visceral reaction out of many people on the internet, including one Jacob. Yep. So Jacob, go right ahead.
Oh my god, I've been waiting for this moment. Okay, so I just want to start this off real quick and say that I don't like Zack Snyder as a director at all, and I don't like Zack Snyder fans a lot. So let me just get into this. I think that is the stupidest thing ever to do. Do you know how easy it is to just it's a dead Robin? Who is it? Jason Todd. Literally, it's so obvious. Everyone's like, that's Jason Todd. We can have a Red Hood movie later on. How cool is that going to be? But he's like, no, dude, it's Dick Grayson because I just want to mess up the entire DC universe. Literally, it's so dumb. It's such a dumb decision to do. It's and the fact, DC themselves said, we're going to have a Nightwing movie down the line. How you have a Nightwing movie if Dick Grayson's apparently dead? What is it, Tim Drake? No, it's Damian. Damian's Nightwing or something. It's just such a dumb decision to do. So I'm going to try and... Marcos, what do you think? Do you think it was dumb or smart or really dumb?
I don't think there's anyone... if you know the comics and you know these characters, you know that this is a dumb choice. But there might be, something to it. I think he's saying this. This was probably his original idea, because he wasn't going to build off of these movies. He was going to go on. He wasn't thinking about this universe. He was like, okay, this could be Dick Grayson. It doesn't really matter. I'm just going to, create Justice League and whatever else he was going to do. Beyond that, it's a bad idea. And, apparently he commented later on that it was going to be from him. It might have been Carey, the next Robin in the Dark Knight Returns.
Oh my god, really? Oh my god, that's even stupider.
But you can tell...
Oh my god. Oh my god, it's so dumb.
Zack Snyder's going to give Jacob an aneurysm.
It's so dumb. It's not even what really made me the only good thing that came out of this is, one, I love DC so much. And every time DC does something stupid, I'm like, come on, man, it's not that hard. You have some of the greatest, most beloved superheroes in pop culture. It's we set you up for a home run, and you're like, nah, dude, we're just gonna mess it all up. It's so easy. But the thing I hate the most about the DC pop culture stuff is the fans. Like, DC can do the dumbest thing, and fans will be like, no, you just don't understand the symbolism, dude. The way he stood there, that's from, like, Leviticus something something. It's like, this is the dumbest stuff. What really made me...
To your point,
The
Jacob,
only thing that was
point.
good about this was, like, when Zack Snyder's like, nah, dude, it's Dick Grayson. Like, diehard DC Zack Snyder fans are like, Zack, what are you doing? Stop it, Zack. Like, they'll defend literally every dumb decision he does, but he said it's Dick Grayson, and they're like, nah, Zack, sit down. Stop it right now.
All right, I'm gonna say one thing, and I'll let Caleb go. I think you're onto something, Jacob, in the point that Zack Snyder has been pretty active on this app, and it stirred up some controversy from time to time. And I think he's stirring the pot a little bit with this one because he knows exactly what saying something like this is going to do. He knows every time he writes a comment on Vero, it's picked up by every blog out there, including ours, because it's news. We picked up the story. It went crazy. People were going out of their minds, and I agree. That's a ridiculous choice. It's an incredibly ridiculous choice, and obviously, moving forward, it'll probably be retconned. But the fact that that was his plan, and that someone at DC allowed that plan, or at least like indulged him in listening to this plan, was incredibly insane. All right, Caleb, you go ahead.
Yeah, I've been trying to squeeze my thoughts in the past 5 minutes while Jacob has been ranting.
I'm so sorry.
I got some strong opinions on this, not nearly as strong as Jacob's. For one, this brings back another problem I've had with Batman v Superman and just the current state of the DCU, is that they started out with an older Batman, and while that does bring about some good stories, that just completely takes away from so many stories that you can make, and like all these 30 years of history, 20 years of history that they're just down the drain because you've just already said that he's an old Batman and all this stuff has happened. So everything with Dick Grayson and Jason Todd, we're not going to get to see. At least that was the plan. We're just not going to get to see that, at least in this current present timeline. We'll probably have the Nightwing movie, if it does get made, will probably be a prequel if this is true. And then on top of that, you know, this, regardless of what Zack Snyder intended, it doesn't specifically say in the movie that it's Dick Grayson, so Warner Brothers can do whatever they want with it now, so it really doesn't matter. I think people are making a little bit too big of a fuss out of this than they should be, Jacob.
Wow.
And a third thing, in Suicide Squad, when they were doing all those weird character introductions, on Harley Quinn it says she was accomplice in the murder of Jason Todd. Is that right?
I think it just said Robin.
Actually,
I think it just said Robin.
It might have been said Robin.
Yeah, it was just a Robin.
I can do some.
Sure?
I can do some quick research while you guys keep talking.
We're gonna throw in some more
All right,
elements.
so I think it was Jason Todd. Jackson will find that in a jiffy. But so if that really is, they said she killed Jason Todd, her and the Joker. Then did the Joker kill two of Batman's Robins? And I don't know. That just seems like a bit much for this universe.
Caleb, you just can't understand the symbolism of Zack Snyder's genius.
I'm sorry.
It's just on a whole other
All right,
level.
but one thing I will say in favor of Zack Snyder in this decision, as some fans have pointed out, that, you know, Batman is a murderer in Batman v Superman. That's pretty evident. And in the comics, he said before that, like, Jason Todd, like, his murder was, you know, just awful for Batman, but it would have been way worse if it were Dick Grayson. Like, that would have pushed him over the top if Dick Grayson were murdered. And so in this universe, if it really was Dick Grayson that was murdered by the Joker, then, you know, that's that would be what pushes him over the top to start murdering people. And not saying I agree with that, but I would say that's a better motive than, you know, what we've been thinking.
All right,
so
I got the answer here. It does not say Jason Todd specifically. It does say Robin.
Right.
So that's left up to interpretation.
All right, so disregard what I said earlier, but, you know, maybe there was a big plan, but honestly, at this point, the whole universe is in shambles. Might as well just restart it.
So
All right.
did that thing.
Back to you guys.
I think we covered about everything for that. We can jump into our next news, but first I just want to say Watchmen is average, and also, so there was some news about the Batman that came out recently. It's supposedly going to be, it takes a little bit of influence from Batman Year One, and it's also going to take place 15 to 20 years earlier than we've seen Batman thus far in the DC universe. What do you guys think about that? Jackson, do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, so let me preface it by saying there's been a slurry of people on the internet claiming that this is an origin story. The report made it very clear that it's not an origin story and that it'll take place a year or two into his run as Batman. We got a couple names thrown out there as potential people they met with, but no one concrete. I'm interested in this kind of story. I'm obviously interested in a younger Batman with the Robin, or a younger Batman, with more stories to tell than the 40, 50-year-old Ben Affleck trying to fight Superman. So I'm interested. I'm very interested. But again, this takes where the DCEU isn't very canonical. It doesn't connect very much, and I guess that's where they're going for. It's a very complicated timeline. So you're gonna have to show me something. I mean, we've heard 1,000 things about the Batman and where it's going. We don't even know if it's still being, if it'll ever come out. I mean, we've heard a million things, but nothing that has pushed me in a direction that's like, okay, I'm ready for the Batman to come out. Marcos, what do you think?
I think the most interesting thing about this is that it's not really an origin story. It's just going back, 15 to 20 years later, when Batman was just young. He's almost in his prime, and he's like facing some of his first villains. I think this is going to be really interesting, especially, with Matt Reeves on board. He's going to be able to do something that's his take. Whether or not it's set in the universe, I assume it will be. I don't think it'll matter at that point. I think it's just going to be more or less just his story, whatever it is he wants to tell. And I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to be good. If everything goes smoothly, I believe I've read in the report, it could start filming next year. So, we could actually be seeing this movie at some point. And I wouldn't be surprised if they actually, cast a younger actor. We'll hear it this year, even if it's in December. What do you think, Caleb?
If you guys probably couldn't tell, I've previously stated twice now that I'm not really on board with the decision of them having an older Batman. So I think this prequel type story is the best thing they can do. They don't have to rely at all. It's kind of like Wonder Woman. They don't have to rely on the stuff that's already happened in the universe, because all it has to do is lead up to how he becomes. They don't even have to show everything. They can pretty much have free reign. Cast someone young like Armie Hammer or Jake Gyllenhaal. Not that those guys are super young, but they're younger than Ben Affleck, and they represent more of a Batman in his prime, which is what I really want to see. Keep it more contained. You don't have to incorporate all these other heroes like Superman, because obviously he's not around yet. Wonder Woman really isn't in the spotlight, so it's really only supposed to be Batman. That's really the only hero vigilante in this universe. So, I think that's the best thing they can do. Have him take down some small time villains. Maybe throw Robin in there, Dick Grayson or Nightwing. I wouldn't show them killing him because that might enrage some fans, but yeah, that's what I think about it.
All right, not much else to say on the Batman. The report, there was a lot there, but it's still not concrete WB news. We didn't get anything out of Comic-Con. Something else that did surface this week, Batman related. We heard that Warner Brothers is looking for a Kristen Stewart prototype. That's a quote. I don't know exactly what that terminology means, but they're looking for someone that's either Kristen Stewart or somewhat similar to Kristen Stewart to take on the role of Batgirl. That also got a very strong reaction out of fans this week. So, Caleb, why don't you start off with that one?
Kristen Stewart's fine, I guess. She doesn't have the same hair color as Batgirl, but I don't really have a huge take on this. Some people hate Kristen Stewart. She certainly has the look, I would say, and they didn't say that they want her specifically. Probably someone that acts a little like her. I think someone with a little more charisma is needed to play Batgirl. They can always dye their hair. Some people are mad about this. I don't really mind. It's not a huge deal to me. What do you think, Jacob?
For me, I'm not so sure about the Kristen Stewart casting. I know, I don't think they're looking for her directly or a prototype. With her, or people that are like her, she doesn't do great in big budget these kinds of movies that we need in the DC universe. She does more with the indie kind of feel when you want films. So I feel I don't know. I'm not so sure about it. I'm not fully on board. I need to hear more about the Batgirl movie before I can sign on to that. Marcus, do you have any opinions?
Not really. Kristen Stewart, she isn't the greatest actress, but at the same time, I think she's fine. And in terms of what they're, who they're looking for, I think that's pretty, on point. Of course, she doesn't have the red hair, but other than that, I think she's fine. And if they get someone similar, that works too. I think it just depends, the route they're going for with the story. Are they going young? Are they going, in the high school age, or are they going a little older than that? We'll see. I don't think there's really else much to say.
All right, so I mean, we're all pretty on the same page. There's not really too much to talk about Batgirl. So let's move into some actually really big news. It's really kind of business technical, but the fact that this week the Fox shareholders did approve Disney's $71 billion acquisition of their company. So we're moving forward with the rights to Fantastic Four and X-Men and the rest of Fox Studios heading over to Disney. So Marcos, let's start with you. What do you take? Jesus Christ, what's your take from this?
Obviously, this is a big monopoly, and Disney's gonna be owning pretty much the world. My house is. I think I'm gonna put some Mickey Mouse signs. It's all done. I'm gonna turn on the TV, and it's gonna be Mickey Mouse. Okay, but honestly, it's gonna be interesting. They're gonna be owning a lot of 20th Century Fox, 21st Century Fox, and everything under it. But I think in terms of what we're gonna be getting out of it, in terms of films, I think it's gonna remain mostly the same. Other than, the Fox Marvel movies. I think they're done after, if I guess, if X-Men Dark Phoenix and X-Men New Mutants roll through, I think the last one would probably be the Deadpool 3 or the X-Force. And after that, they'll probably do what they want. And I don't think they're going to be changing, extremely how they make movies. Or, I don't think you're still going to get movies like Avatar, get movies like maybe Kingsman, rated R movies. I don't think they're going to go, I don't think they bought Fox to change it. I think they bought Fox because they knew the potential it has and what they're bringing out right now. Caleb, what do you think?
Yeah, just to piggyback off what you were just saying. I mean, people are like, "Oh, we're not going to get all these great movies that Fox produces that are more diverse." People think Disney bought Fox just for the X-Men characters, and that's just really dumb. They're not worth $70 billion, but they bought Fox because they know they're profitable. They have a lot of profitable franchises, and there's no reason for them to change that. That's why they bought them, because they're good the way they are. And I also hate people saying "Oh, goodbye socially relevant X-Men movies." It's first of all, they're probably not as socially relevant as you think. The first trilogy was pretty relevant, but they've just become more mainstream as the years have gone by. And plus, we have X-Men Origins and The Last Stand and not Dark Phoenix probably, but Apocalypse. Those aren't socially relevant films by any means. You can't use those as examples. And plus, Marvel has made Black Panther one of the most socially relevant superhero movies in the last decade, and it'd be stupid to assume that they wouldn't continue that trend with the X-Men, which is one of the most socially relevant comic book franchises in comics and in movies. So yeah, like I said, they didn't buy them to change it. They bought them to keep the legacy going that they've already had and continue to make the great content. What do you guys think about that, Jacob Jackson?
I'll take this one real quick. I'm really excited about the deal, honestly. I feel like we're gonna get a lot of great films out of this, and I'm so annoyed. It's everyone has the copy pasta buzzwords on Twitter. They're this is just a monopoly. It's not okay that Disney's taking over Fox. But they were fully in favor of Comcast taking over Fox, even though that's a bigger monopoly than Disney is.
Name one movie Comcast has made.
Exactly. What are they going to do with it? We're going to take over these properties and not touch them.
You want my TV provider making X-Men movies?
Oh my
no.
God.
Straight to Comcast, Dark Phoenix. You guys, you heard it here first.
Half the time, my
Xfinity
Comcast shuts down and I can't use it. And
Wait.
pull up your
I'm
TiVo,
actually gonna correct that. Comcast owns Universal Pictures, so
That
they
explains
have
a lot.
Fast and Furious.
All right, so we're going to cut out Marcos being a nerd, and we're going to talk about how TiVo is going to have the Dark Phoenix on it on the live streaming service.
Okay.
Guys, they've made they own Universal. Okay, they made some fantastic movies like the Incredible Hulk.
How about Fast and Furious, you bastards?
We said good movies, Jackson. I'm sorry.
All of them, except Too Fast, Too Furious. Every single one of them is an iconic movie.
Well, I think you're too stupid, too dumb to be talking right now. So
I have seen half of those movies.
it was such a.
I've seen half of one Fast.
What have you
and
not
Furious.
seen? What have you not seen?
Me?
Yeah.
I saw 6 and I fell asleep.
Wow.
All right, 6 is probably the least
I
of the
think
last
Fast
4.
5 is peak.
But
I think
that's
we're
how you
at
have to-
peak.
Fast
You're
5
like-
is peak, but that doesn't. You don't.
You're-
7
The
is
rest are
good.
fine.
1 is good. Tokyo Drift is weird, but it's pretty.
Dude, a
good.
minute ago you said they were all great, and now you're just okay, that one's not the best,
Okay,
but
it's kind of weird. It's fine.
and they're we'll be okay. Since you bring it up, that's not the greatest, but okay, Jackson.
Didn't Universal also make the Jurassic World movies?
Yeah, exactly.
Boo them.
Imagine if they were making our X-Men movies.
Those are so socially relevant.
Timeless.
Do you want X-Men with weird cloning? I don't think so. because that's weird, and we don't need it in any subplots.
Actually,
okay?
that's probably pretty spot on X-Men.
It's pretty accurate.
No, whatever.
All right.
It was weird. Fallen Kingdom
stop,
wasn't
stop.
good.
Okay, I'm gonna sum this up.
Okay, wait.
If you were angry that they
Wait, I do have one more thing. I do have one more thing to add about this deal. Probably last thing we need to talk about is it hasn't been confirmed, but basically the word on the street is they will be recasting all the X-Men characters except for Deadpool, because obviously
So,
you can't.
He's their hottest commodity right now. I think it'd be stupid to recast.
I want to personally apologize to Alexandra Shipp. We have an opening here at SuperBros for writers. If you're interested, I apologize, but you're not going to be Storm, and I'm sorry.
I think we should talk about that.
Time to move on.
There's some more word on the street that they are recasting Deadpool with Danny DeVito in the role, and I'm fully in favor of it. I think he's going to do it.
Is that exclusive?
It is actually exclusive on the podcast.
I think he would work better as Magneto.
It's an exclusive. That's actually the title of this podcast. By
I
the
think
way.
that's Wolverine. I don't know why you guys think anything else, but it should be Wolverine.
Dude, actually, they're combining the two. He's going to be Deadpool and Wolverine, but it's just going to be one sword that comes out of each arm. That's how they're going to do it.
So basically,
It's actually wouldn't that be great?
X-Men Origins Deadpool.
Yeah, they're.
Is he gonna play all the X-Men?
Yes, he has the
that would be
powers
an
of
interesting take on
Cyclops
it.
as well. Yes.
Wait, so he's Deadpool from the Deadpool movie from X-Men
Exactly.
Origins?
Yes, that's what they're going for.
Oh, right,
Exactly.
right. That's what Marvel should
they're
do.
making
That's what Marvel
socially relevant and thought-provoking films like Fox did. That's what's going to happen.
Okay, enough of this nonsense.
I need to roast these people more, Jackson. Can we please?
We're getting into Twitter questions.
No. Let's keep going.
And we're gonna kick off with Caleb's. Caleb asked a good question. Have we all seen Mission Impossible? Jacob, did you?
I
see it?
haven't. I'll see it later. I don't care if you spoil me.
Idiot.
Okay, no spoilers. We're not gonna spoil things because the movie's only been out a few days. But Caleb did ask what our thoughts on Mission Impossible. So Caleb, you asked, what are your thoughts on Mission Impossible?
This is a great question. I love our fan base more than any fan base in the world. We're just the best.
Humble.
We have the greatest questions.
Very humble.
Yeah, this movie was sick. It was nuts with a capital nuts, and it was just
With a
so
Z?
cool. And you know,
That's good.
it's honestly like, no, we're keeping that. It was like top. I wouldn't say. I definitely debated putting it at my number one slot. Right now, Infinity War has that, but it's definitely top 3 for me. And this franchise just keeps getting better. Like the last 3, including this one, have just all topped to the previous ones, and it's just what this franchise has accomplished is just incredible. And Tom Cruise, say what you will about him, you know, his Scientology weirdness, you know, the guy gets his shit done, and whatever he has to do to get it done, to jump out of a helicopter, to fly an airplane or fly a helicopter into Henry Cavill's face. That doesn't actually happen. That's not a spoiler, but he goes to the
I
limits.
mean,
and
more or less, that kind of does happen.
we need more people like Tom Cruise making movies. And I don't know, this movie, we can talk about Christopher McQuarrie, the director. He's a great writer and great director, great with practical effects, obviously, and he has brought up that he would like to make a Superman or Green Lantern movie if he gets a great story, and I would be so down for that. He's incredible, and if he makes Green Lantern, maybe put Tom Cruise in there as an aged Hal Jordan. I think Marcos brought that up, or maybe Jackson.
That was me on Twitter. You can follow me at BizGamer9. And yeah, I said he should
That was such a
definitely
smooth plug.
plugs.
Oh my god.
Well, yeah, but that's gonna be a plug right there. Okay, I think he's like the perfect director for Green Lantern. Anyways, to the movie, I saw it like last week. I think this is great. It's a great time in the theater. The action was insane. Like it's better than most action movies in the past, decade or so, including the last Mission Impossible movies. And I personally like it better than Rogue Nation. The story it's a little weird sometimes. It's a little convoluted, but it's still like you can still follow it. It's still fun, and it still has heart. Like you can tell. I'm not gonna spoil it, but it's Ethan Hunt is still a good character. And I think they do such a great job of like you being invested in him, because he is a good person, and they show that throughout the movie. And his team. His team's a little bit smaller than the last time, but I think it works way better. You get to know the characters a little bit more, and yeah, it was just fun. Like my whole family loved it. This
movie was bonkers, like in the best possible way. Every time you thought it was going to go one way, it went nuts, capital nuts. It's something I haven't seen in a movie in a long time. I love Rogue Nation, but this blew Rogue Nation out of the water. This was something like I didn't expect this kind of level of intensity. Edge of your seat, like legitimately from start to finish. I don't know how they're going to top this one. This is in my top 3 movies of the year as well. there's a couple issues I had here and there, but there weren't any major like issues I had with it at all. It really like personifies what I think Tom Cruise does as an actor. He took it to another level, and he just does not stop. And I mean, there were 3 action sequences in this one that I think were better than anything in Rogue Nation. And Rogue Nation was awesome, but this was just something else.
And I think this is not a spoiler. I think this is like the the most important question: was Henry Cavill's mustache here in this movie worth it?
Yes,
For
absolutely,
sure.
Absolutely.
Now,
No, seeing his mustache in all glorious IMAX, it was just, I can understand where the Mission Impossible team was coming from when they were putting their foot down and said, you cannot shave Henry Cavill's beautiful face for Justice League, your shitty movie. No, he's keeping it, and it was worth every second of it.
Okay, so I'm going to see this movie later. I'm so excited right now after you guys have described it. You've been in the chat this like whole week talking about it, and I was so excited. Now I'm like, I want to go see it tonight. But I haven't seen it, but I have seen Teen Titans Go, guys. If we just want to get into that talk right now and discuss it. Do you guys?
I didn't see anybody ask that on Twitter. We can just go to the next.
That's fine too. That's fine.
All right, here we got a question. I'm gonna handle this one. From Rob on Twitter, he asked, "You guys think Venom will become a part of the MCU if it does well?" I'm gonna take this because I'm gonna talk about the trailer that dropped this morning. I have a pretty strong reaction. It was utter trash, and we don't need to talk like it doesn't even deserve this time, but I'm gonna give it to it because it was so bad. Throughout the entire trailer, I can't understand what Tom Hardy is saying. I can't understand what Venom is saying. They have some weird way of talking.
I'm going to rip off your arms and legs, and then you're going to be walking around like the guy from Monty Python.
And he was talking about turds in the wind, and I'm like, what?
That is an iconic line.
This movie?
That's iconic right there.
It looks like it came on the heels of Daredevil. It looks 2003 Daredevil, not Netflix Daredevil. It wishes it could be compared to Daredevil on Netflix. It just looks bad. It looks so basic in the story. Bad government agencies here to take over the world by saving people, by like putting symbiotes inside of them for some reason. Whatever Riz Ahmed is doing in that movie. What I can't understand a word Tom Hardy is saying. Like, what does that say about the movie? Like, he's just talking gibberish, and then he ends up with the symbiote, just starts eating people. It doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't look good. It hasn't looked good once. Someone take this away from me.
I will take over. I'll take over. This was your Zack Snyder rant. Don't worry. I think it's good you brought up the fact that we can't understand him. It raises a very important issue that Hollywood has actually typecast Tom Hardy in this role of characters that you can't understand. We saw him as Bane.
He covers his face.
He covers his face. You can understand him as Bane. I feel like what the people that are making Venom, they said we need an actor.
And in Dunkirk, you couldn't understand him.
They said we need an actor that you can't understand at all. And they said, oh my God, Tom Hardy's the perfect actor. And I feel...
Is this on purpose, though? Do they not want us to understand him because the dialogue is so bad? Like, is that what it is?
You're not supposed to understand him. You're supposed to look at him and be like, oh my God, dude, that's so badass. Dude, that's dope.
You just hear like other people in the theater kind of like laugh and you're like, whoa, and you're just like, you kind of go along with it because you can't understand.
Are you guys going to watch Venom subbed or dubbed? That's the real question here. Because we can't understand anything.
I might need to wait to get it on subtitles to try to understand what he's saying. Because it doesn't make any sense. What are turds in the wind? What is he talking about? I don't understand it. Talking about eating pancreases. What is it? Like I don't know who this is for other than
was this what it was like when
people.
I was ranting? My God, I'm sorry.
No, it was much worse when you were ranting.
Okay, wow. Okay.
You didn't stop.
My turn. All right. Okay,
I feel like we're beating Vince in a pile.
My turn.
He's just in the middle.
Wait, okay.
We're just kicking Tom Hardy around.
Okay, I'm gonna say something crazy here. I actually like the trailer. All right, wait for a second. See, I had my headphones on when I was listening to it, so like I knew what was going on. Anyways,
I was in a silent room. What difference did it make?
I think it's 50. It looks 50-50 like it was, made in 2005. But on the other hand, I was watching, the Venom scenes and the action. It does look pretty fresh. Looks cool. Of course, Spider-Man's on it. Who cares? But, by now, it's not even a point. Sony's just trying to make money. But I think it's gonna be enjoyable. It looks fun. I think I like the Venom scenes. I like the very last clip. At the very least, I think Venom's gonna be a standout.
I will. Okay, I'll talk about some positives really quick because we just beat the crap out of it. I think Venom looks cool, and the way he ran in that one scene was pretty nifty. That's about it. Caleb, what do you have any opinions?
I'll just say, first, Venom trailer, I was like, I don't know, I'm not on board with this. Second trailer, I was like, hey, this actually looks pretty good. Maybe they don't need Spider-Man. Now, third trailer, I'm like back to my original opinion. I'm like, what the hell is this? Why are they making this? And to get back to the original question we had, which was if we ever think Venom will be part of the MCU, if it does well. Well, one, if it does well, we know Sony's not gonna hand it back over to Marvel because they're trying to make this whole universe out of it. So I'd say there's no way it goes to the MCU if it does well. If it doesn't do well, Marvel's going to be like, we're not taking this shit show of a movie. We're not bringing it over to our franchise. We're going to make our own Venom, do it right. Use Spider-Man instead of that whole... I'm just really mad that Sony basically took Venom for themselves instead of allowing it to be incorporated in the MCU, because that would be so cool with Tom Holland Venom. They could have set it up perfectly with Infinity War, where he's in space and he gets the symbiote on him, and then he goes back home in the sequel, and that's when they have the Venom storyline. Like, they could have done it so well, and I know that it would be so great in the MCU, but no, Sony just has to take all the best characters and just do their own thing and just ruin it like they always do. I hate Sony.
I don't want Tom Hardy anywhere near my MCU. I don't want him touching Tom Holland. I don't want him looking at Tom Holland. I don't want I don't know what they're thinking. I don't even want to think about it. It doesn't deserve my thinking. So
I'm really glad we all loved
absolutely
it.
not.
You know what? Next question.
That was a great question. Let's move on, guys.
Oh,
all right,
Colin Stetzner on Twitter also asked, why am I not excited for Venom? And I think Jackson answered his question
because it's horrible.
Quite well.
Jackson, he'll
All right,
elaborate.
let's go to a lighter question. Tanner on Twitter asked, who are some Marvel characters you would like to see in the MCU that have not been introduced yet? So let's go through the panel. Jacob, do you have one in mind?
Ooh, what character I would love to see in the MCU? I'd love to see actually Nova. I think it'd be great to see Nova in the MCU. He's always a character I've always he's not one that I was always a fan of, but I've grown to like him more and more, and I'd love to see him interact with a lot of the Guardians of the Galaxy. And it's set up perfectly since the Nova Corps was assumingly destroyed by Thanos. Maybe we see Nova as the last of the officers trying to protect the galaxy. But that's who I would like to see. Marcos, what about you?
You know what? I'm gonna piggyback off what Jacob said. I think it's the logical choice after, especially in Infinity War. I forgot what the planet was called, but the Nova Corps they introduced in Guardians of the Galaxy. It was destroyed, that planet. I forgot what it was called. And yeah, exactly.
Wow,
exactly. I knew that. That planet was destroyed, and that can easily transition to the original Nova Corps and introduce Nova, whichever Nova it is, Richard Rider or the younger guy, I forgot.
Well, let me ask you this: what about for you two guys that asked Nova? Would you be opposed to John C. Reilly being Nova?
Yes.
Nope.
I think.
Well,
what's going on here?
Sold me. Now I'm for it.
You know what? I think he's the top choice. Second choice, Danny DeVito. The third
Oh,
choice.
yes.
Who touched my drumstick?
Exactly.
Oh my God,
all right,
guys!
Caleb, you go ahead.
Caleb's on something. Not John C. Reilly.
Yeah.
Will Ferrell interacts with John
You know
C.
what?
Riley. Oh my God, we just figured it out.
Will Ferrell shows up. He goes, "Your planet got destroyed. I've been sent here to fix all the shit shambles." And then John C. Reilly's like, "Oh, yeah, it was out of control. What are you talking about?" And then
Guys, we need to get Kevin on the phone right now and sell him this movie.
Step Brothers in space. Are you telling
and then
me
you
Step
find out
Brothers?
you find out that their parents marry each other, and they're like, "Oh, come
Guys,
on!"
we're on to something right now.
You're telling me Step Brothers was an MCU movie?
Yes.
Yes.
Step Brothers
okay.
part of the MCU confirmed? Oh my God, guys, this is perfect. We're so smart.
Okay, I'm gonna be quick. My answer is Silver Surfer. I want to see Silver Surfer. I think that'd be
that's
cool.
good.
All right, yeah, I'll just piggyback off that. Obviously, now that Marvel has the Fox rights, they can use any X-Men character. But out of all those, I'm just really excited to see Deadpool, because I think it would be. He's obviously R-rated characters, but they're not going to make the Avengers or Spider-Man R-rated just to put him in there. So I think it would be really funny of him mentioning that in the movie, talking about how he's not allowed to cuss, and maybe they bleep out his cuss words, and how he has to be more family friendly for these kiddie Avengers movies. I think that would be really funny. And then also a character that hasn't been introduced yet, but they have set up, is Adam Warlock.
Oh my God, that'd be so
hopefully, hopefully if James Gunn does get reinstated, I'm pretty sure he's teased pretty heavily that he will be a main part of Volume 3. So hopefully that's something we'll see pretty soon. If James Gunn isn't attached to that, then there's no telling. They might just drop it entirely. Same with the entire cosmic side of the MCU that they said James Gunn was going to set up. Yeah, that's all I got.
All right, we'll keep moving on. Our own Mark Tan, writer for us, asked, I guess Caleb's probably most equipped to answer this question. Any thoughts on the Infinity War home release ditching the IMAX aspect ratio?
Yeah, I'm not really happy about that. I think Infinity War was obviously the first movie to be shot entirely in IMAX, so meaning that extra 26% more screen is on it the entire movie. There's no ratio changes, which was amazing seeing in an IMAX theater, and it's definitely way better. Like, you can definitely notice it when you watch it in a standard format, and that not being on the home release was a huge appointment for me. I have a 4K TV. I'm obviously getting in 4K, and not having that extra bit of the movie that it was made. And it, like the Russo brothers said, like they chose to shoot it in IMAX so they could, because Thanos is such a huge character, and there's so much going on in this movie that they wanted to fit it all on the screen. And watching it without that extra 13% on top and bottom, that just feels like, I don't know, like we're missing out. Like we're just missing out on a big chunk of the movie. I don't know. I'm pretty mad about that. I don't know if you guys have as passionate of opinions as I do.
Anybody else?
I'm not too upset about it because I didn't see Infinity War in IMAX. I was so dude. I really wanted to. My theater didn't have it. It was never available. I was so upset about it. So seeing it now, I won't be as upset if I had seen it in IMAX. So
I mean, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
You're missing
out. I know I did.
It was incredible.
Yeah.
I saw it, I think, twice in IMAX.
Thank you, Jackson, for rubbing it in. That was great.
Yeah, of course.
I really thought that felt good.
All right.
Good.
Marcos, do you have anything you want to
I
on
also
question?
didn't see it in IMAX, so I won't even know the difference.
Oh.
Boo.
You want to bully him too, Mark Jackson?
Okay, we're going to go to the next question then. Jonah B on Twitter. We've covered this a little bit, but we can get a quick thing on it. He asked, how do you guys think they're planning on bringing Ant-Man back? Of course, Ant-Man was stuck in the quantum realm at the end of Ant-Man and the Wasp. Spoiler alert. So, Jacob, how's it getting
Okay, so I'm not sure if everyone has seen this, but when the original Ant-Man came out, there was a promotional video where it was him and Michael Douglas repeatedly saying ants.
Yes.
And
yes,
ham boning. Ham boning, if you're not sure what that is, you've seen regular show, you know what ham boning is. Okay. Exactly. Ham boning in the background right now. So, I feel like what's going to happen is Paul Rudd will be stuck in the quantum realm for a little bit. He's going to get bored. He wants to entertain himself. So he's going to ham bone and say ants repeatedly until he escapes the quantum realm. That's what's going to...
Until Michael Douglas...
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Until
okay.
they rescue him. They're going to hear him ham boning in the ants. And be like, oh my god, we need this guy on the team.
All right, I like this. I like this. Marcos, give me your craziest theory on how he gets out.
I don't know, man. I think he's just gonna randomly pop up, and then he has to explain where he is. He could pop up in the past. I think there's a possibility he either pops up in the past...
I'm trying to be funny
or in
here.
the
Marcus,
future.
Funny.
if there's not ham boning, I don't
serious
want
here,
it.
Okay. Because I don't know, like, how else would he, like, leave?
Ham boning?
You know what? I think that's the only way. Ham boning. Avengers.
Caleb, do you
ham
have a
boning.
crazy theory?
Guys, Avengers
All right,
ham boning.
I think like this. So on that like warehouse, whatever rooftop they were on, I think like this ominous figure appears from space, and they walk up to it slowly. You don't see their face. They press the button, and Ant-Man comes out. He goes, "Oh, thanks for retrieving me. I've been in there for 20 years." And then you pan over. You think it's gonna be like Captain Marvel or someone. It's John C. Reilly. He's Nova. He goes, "Oh, I was just walking by. I saw your machine. A planet got destroyed. I just want to help you stop Thanos."
See, Marcos, that's
And
a good
then-
answer.
Yeah, that's a better answer.
And they team up, and they themselves stop Thanos without the help of Robert Downey Jr. or anyone. That was the one outcome that Doctor Strange saw that they could defeat Thanos.
I think...
What a perfect answer.
Dude,
What a
how are we
perfect
not
answer.
working at Marvel right now?
All right, you got it, Jackson.
We got a few questions here from Colin. Let's see, what's an actual good one?
Saw the last question.
What's
answer.
the best part of Infinity War? Let's throw that out there. It just came out on digital today, so it's topical.
Bring me tacos.
That's getting cut.
Okay, Marcos, why don't you go ahead?
You know what? Like, I'm not
Ignore-
sure if I'm
ignore
gonna
Caleb.
wait until the Blu-ray comes out. But I do hear like the special features on the digital version. It's insane.
I watched them today. They are incredible.
Yeah, like I really want to. It's like a director's commentary.
The director's roundtable is a great watch. Half an hour. It's totally worth
All right.
it.
Yeah,
Who's on the table?
We got Favreau, Coogler, Gunn.
Oh, it's like a
Peyton
bunch of
Reed,
directors?
Peyton Reed, Taika, both the Russos, and Joss Whedon is there, which I was surprised.
Wait, I didn't know it was like all those directors. That's
All
sick.
of them for half an hour sitting
That's
around
amazing.
shooting the shit about the universe.
Is James Gunn there?
He is there. He is. It was sad to watch, but I feel like after today, I'm feeling better about him coming back, so it was a little easier to watch than it might have been a week ago. So it's completely worth the watch. When you guys get your DVDs, give it a go.
I'm excited they included Jon Favreau in there. I didn't think they would because I thought they were going to go with more like the Phase 3 directors. I'm glad they included him.
I didn't think Whedon was going to be there anyway. He's had his issues with them.
They started the MCU. They were what made it what it is today. So I like that they included them. It's good.
I mean, he was supposed to be in Infinity War at Happy, but I think they cut it out.
Is that scene?
Yeah,
on
I think it's one of the deleted scenes. I believe I didn't catch all the deleted scenes yet, but I think I saw an article that had mentioned that he was in it.
What are the deleted scenes? Do we know?
There's one of Gamora as a member of the Black Order, like she had armor on.
I saw that on Instagram. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it was like I think Thanos using the Reality Stone to show her like how she used to be happy or whatever.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
We don't really need to say our favorite parts in Infinity War.
Every part.
We've already talked about that. I mean,
it's
any
bringing
part
me
with
Thanos.
Thor.
It's bringing me Thanos. That's the best
any part with Thanos. Any part with Iron Man.
Yeah. Thor entering Wakanda.
Yes, that's absolutely the best scene in the movie. Marcos' sister asked a good question. She said, "Do you think Fury's transmission to Captain Marvel meant she was in space at the moment?" So, is she in space?
I think so.
Basically, the question really boils down to: is she in space or is she in the '90s trapped there? Because those have pretty much been the two like theories, or also that like she's
trapped
in
in
the
the
world.
grunge 1990s and can't get out, and time doesn't move.
Okay.
So basically, where do you guys think that she is? She is right now.
I think it's a combination of both. Actually, she's in space, but she's perpetually trapped in the '90s. She only talks about the '90s. She's like one of those people on Twitter that says like if you're a '90s kid or something like that. That's essentially what she's experienced right now. She's in their current timeline, but she still feels like it's the '90s. She listens to '90s music.
So she's just chilling.
Exactly. Yes.
But she can't. It's like she's been attacked by the 1990s.
Yes.
It hasn't caught up to her.
She's sitting back. She's watching like old Cartoon Network type TV. Like she's watching
playing with Tamagotchis.
Yeah, she's watching Drake and Josh right now. She's living her life, dude. She's just she's doing what she does in space.
Okay, well, I need to go where she is because today isn't as good as it used to be.
That's what she says all the time.
But only '90s kids will remember.
That's her catchphrase actually.
Gotcha.
That's
Okay, JB asked a good question. He says, between Jacob and myself, meaning me, Jackson, who's the more dedicated writer?
I have I'm going to answer fairly, okay? I think we're both great writers, okay? We both have different assets that we bring to the table. I'm not a real sports guy, but I'm going to use a baseball analogy. If we each had a baseball card, mine would be comparable to Babe Ruth, and yours would be comparable to, I don't know, a lot of baseball players, so like a bad player.
Michael Jordan.
Player, essentially.
Michael Jordan.
Okay, so you're Babe Ruth, and then I'm a bad player.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're Michael Jordan.
Yeah, you're Michael Jordan. That's a good one. There we go.
I'm Michael Jordan, the baseball player?
Yes, the baseball player.
Yes.
Okay. I think that's a bad assessment, because I think Jacob wouldn't have any clicks if Lego didn't exist, so I don't think that's a fair assessment, as I, myself, who built this site, single-handedly, by myself. Nobody else helped me.
In a cave with a box of scraps.
In a cave with a box of scraps.
It's funny.
Actually, whenever you guys are done fighting, I actually have a really good question I want to bring up.
Okay, he's an actual question, but it's me. The answer is me.
Are we done fighting, Jackson?
I'm never done fighting with you, but we can ask.
Okay,
All
so
right,
I win.
here's a
Caleb
question.
Ask a question.
Yeah, so someone was on Instagram was talking about how smart Shuri is and how she's so much smarter than Iron Man.
I'm so glad.
And I was like, yeah, Shuri's smart. There's no denying that. But she's also had the most technological driven society, the highest technological advancements in the entire history of the world at her side. And I said, I'd like to see what she could do in a cave with a box of scraps, like Iron Man did. So who's the smarter one? Shuri with the entire vastness of technology at her fingertips, or Tony Stark in a cave with a box of scraps?
Okay, I think what's fair is okay. Are they both stuck in a cave?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, they're both stuck in a cave.
Is she stuck in a vibranium cave?
No, they're both stuck in the original cave
with Yinsen.
Yes, with Yinsen.
They each have a Yinsen. They both. Okay, I'm cool with that.
Yeah, Shuri has a female Yinsen.
Okay.
Oh, a female Yinsen. Okay, that might be helpful.
I don't know. Does that change the situation? We gotta keep this the same.
Well, I think it's a different what because Shuri would not build an Iron Man suit. I think that'd be foolish.
She'd build like hand blasters or something.
She would build like a teleportation device, honestly.
But she has a box of scraps.
What's in the box of scraps? Is it vibranium?
All right, they each get a box of scraps, but they're different boxes of scraps.
Okay, where's John C. Reilly play into this? I think that's
if he's not here, I don't know.
He's the game master.
He is okay. They recasted Jeff
he's the one that's
as John C.
screwing
Reilly.
around that John C. Reilly.
I like that.
Right, so they each get a box of scraps, like a mystery box, and like Tony Stark might get some of that like nuke metal that he used to make his arc reactor. Maybe he gets some like repulsor blast. Maybe he gets vibranium. Who knows? And she gets the same thing. All right, yeah, they both get the same box of scraps. Okay. And so they get 1 ounce of vibranium. And whatever other nuke stuff.
I think if vibranium is in play, Shuri wins because she knows what to do with it. I don't think Tony Stark would.
Yeah, I don't think we can use vibranium in this situation. It has to be just a basic box of scraps. It's nothing.
Person to person, I'm gonna pick Shuri. That's just me.
All right. Basically, who do you think is smarter?
I want to pick Robert. I was about to say Robert Downey Jr., which is the same thing. I want to say Iron Man. Because
I think his hubris is too much for the situation.
Hold up. Are we saying like current day Iron Man against current day Shuri? Because you're making it sound like it's like old Iron Man. Because like current Iron Man, he made a suit that's better than Black Panther's for Infinity War. You can't try and tell me Black Panther's suit is better than Iron Man's in Infinity War.
It's not the same type of suit.
Jackson, I want you to say that. I want you to try and say it's better.
They're not comparable. They're apples.
They're both suits. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
All right, but if Shuri really wanted to make the best suit for Black Panther, she would have made a cool Iron Man suit.
Exactly.
Okay, but he's obviously with tradition, and he wants to keep the generic Black Panther suit. That's why.
And his tradition.
Did you guys watch Black Panther, the best movie of the year?
Can his suit fly?
Irrelevant. He doesn't need to fly. He doesn't want to fly. He wanted to fly.
Who doesn't want to fly?
Yeah,
it doesn't fly.
All the heroes that don't fly that could fly, every single one of them.
I think if you gave Captain America a jetpack, he'd use it.
I don't think he would.
You know, Iron Man's technology, I'd say, is like pretty far superior. Like with what he's accomplished to what Wakanda has accomplished with the vibranium. Like if Tony Stark had vibranium, or he was born in Wakanda and he had the lab that Shuri has, I think he would make way cooler stuff. Like she made like some wrist gauntlets that shot like beams.
But the truth is that she didn't. So
you know what?
What? Yeah, make a cooler suit?
Oh, here, Marcos.
You know
Marcos
what? I'm gonna say Shuri
in.
just to give this 50-50 all around the table. I think with the box of straps, I think Tony Stark may win, but Shuri, she's smart. So I think since she's also younger, she might be able to get more out of her box of scraps, depending on what she's making.
That's true. She has much more potential.
Exactly.
I doubt it. At her age, Tony Stark was that smart.
That's
no.
True.
He was a jerk. He's a douchebag.
Yeah, he didn't say about his dad.
He didn't, and then the Winter Soldier murdered him, and he felt bad about it. That's a bad kid, you know.
Because his parents were killed. Wow. Okay. Bruce Wayne sucks. Then wow, you're just mean, Jackson.
He's a dick
hating
too.
On orphans.
Well, yeah, no. Bruce Wayne got
hating
scared
on orphans.
during the Bat movie. No, Bruce Wayne got scared watching El Zorro, and then had to make him go to the theater.
Exactly.
Yeah, if he had been such a baby about it, his parents would still be alive.
Why is no one?
The Zorro, he was afraid of Zorro.
You think Bruce Wayne's ever sat back down and watched Zorro? Like he's like, what should I watch?
Absolutely not.
You ever put it back on now? I want to know. You know, I've always boggled my mind.
He probably murdered every actor that played Zorro.
Why were the richest people in Gotham watching a movie in a theater next to Crime Alley? Where they're like, honey, let's mix it up a little. Let's go.
I feel like originally it was in the 40s, right?
Yeah.
So I don't think it's different than it is now. There's not eight movie theaters in one city, but absolutely not. They would not.
Why was the only? Hold up. Why was the only movie theater in the bad part of town? Wouldn't that be in the good part of town?
I think they just kept that original story the entire time, which is wrong because they should have modernized it to I don't know, to have someone break into their house or something. It would make more sense than him just walking out of a movie and being shot.
Have
you ever walked out of your local AMC and someone tried to steal your pearls?
All the time. So. I'm always wearing my pearls. Who doesn't?
Who dresses that nicely?
Who doesn't wear their pearls
to
the movie theater, Jackson? Wow, you just don't care.
Listen, I'm not as well off as you are, apparently.
If you're not wearing your pearls and decked out to see Teen Titans Go, are you really seeing a movie?
I guess I'm not.
Apparently
I
not,
guess I'm
Jackson.
not.
That's, you know what? That's why you didn't fully experience Black Panther to realize that Iron Man's better.
Okay, I experienced Black Panther as the best movie of the year, and that's where we're going to try to wrap it up here. We've been rambling on enough.
I think this is a good rant. Everyone cut out around the middle part of the podcast anyway, so it's okay. No worries.
So as everyone says bye, I want one food-related hot take before we go. So Jacob, why don't you start?
I always get I don't even have a chance to think about the question.
I like throwing you off your rhythm.
Okay.
John Mulaney reference.
I got the reference. Okay, a food hot take. Here it is. Nutella's not good.
Ooh.
All right.
That's my hot take.
No judgment here. Just keep moving. Caleb, what you got one for me?
I don't know. I like a lot of foods because I'm a cool person. I don't like pineapple.
So people who
pizza.
don't like foods are a bad person?
Yeah.
Wow, that's really
Jacob.
foodist.
Learning a lot about you.
I don't like pineapple on pizza because I think that's.
Ooh,
stupid.
that's is that even a hot take?
You're
Like
wrong.
a lot of people.
You're wrong.
Do you like pineapple on pizza?
And
That
I
explains
don't
so
like
much.
tomatoes, but I like tomato sauce.
I agree with that. I'll take
That's
that.
fine.
All right, Marcus.
For me, I don't have cheese on sandwiches, but I have pizza.
Oh wow! All right.
Whoa.
Okay.
Ooh. Okay. All right.
All right, Jackson, your turn.
Yep. Waffles are better than pancakes.
That's not a
Alright,
hot
we're
take. That's
gonna
just a
end
That's not a
fact.
hot take.
That's just a
Yep,
fact.
Okay. Wow. There's so many wrong
All right, well, that's where
people.
we're going to wrap up today's show. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like and subscribe, rate, comment, all those good things, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
See you guys.
These nuts.